Meditation is generally understood as deep concentration on any object. As we all know, concentration is a way to gain knowledge of any subject. Through concentration, the mind acquires the quality of a lens and can penetrate deeply into any object, external or internal, and perceive its real nature. Concentration is the sole method for learning the secrets of the outer and inner worlds. Now, why we are comparing this meditation and concentration? Because meditation has been continuously for a long time compared with lot of phrases, and one of the word that it has been compared with is concentration. Meditation is more than concentration. In the philosophies of Yoga and Vedanta, meditation is a mental process by which the meditator becomes one with the object of meditation. Whereas concentration, in Sanskrit we call it dharana, is the preliminary stage of this process. When concentration becomes effortless and continuous, it takes the form of meditation, what we call dhyana in Sanskrit or Hindi, in which the mind flows continuously towards its object. The culmination of meditation is total absorption, which we call samadhi, in the object of meditation. When we are able to keep the mind focused on a specific object uninterruptedly for 12 seconds, we are said to achieve 1 unit of concentration. 12 such successive units of concentration make 1 unit of meditation, and 12 such successive units of meditation leads to samadhi. So, concentration, meditation, and absorption are three different depths of meditation. Now, some people compare meditation with reflective reasoning. They give a lot of reasoning in compared to meditation. So we need to understand also what is reasoning. Reasoning is satisfied if it merely achieves a clear conception of thing, whereas meditation seeks a direct perception of them. In other words, we say reasoning is a function of the head, while meditation is function of the heart, the abode of God. Meditation is more than contemplation. Now, contemplation has also come into existence along with meditation. People say you think deeply, and it's a kind of meditation. Contemplation is the thinking about the divine, but meditation is the spontaneous flow of the mind towards it. The contemplative state may be compared to be a bee, like buzzing around a flower, sit on the flower and sipping the nectar from it. But in the state of meditation, a bee is already seated on the flower and has begun to taste the sweetness of the nectar. Some people say that meditation is linked with prayer, but there is an important distinction between the two. Prayer functions in a dualistic way, in that it is directed to a personal deity or a divine whom we perceive as being separate from us. In meditation, that seeming dualism is dissolved. Images, concepts, and symbols are used as a mere stepping stones in the spiritual venture. So it is said that in prayer we talk to God, while in meditation we listen to the soundless voice of God within us. In prayer we commune with the divine, but in meditation we achieve union with it. Very apparently you can find it meditation is the highest form of worship. In worship, says Shankaracharya, a person renounces his external activities and worship in the sacred and stainless shrine of Atman. Means one need to focus inside the body, inside the mind, rather moving outside, rather seeking something outside the body. The Atman or self is the true internal shrine at which we worship when we meditate. Meditation is a technique for gaining mastery over the mind. Mind control is our best friend. Uncontrolled, it is the worst enemy. And the human mind is known for its restlessness. Now, in this context, once Swami Vivekananda has compared the restlessness mind to a monkey that not only is drunk with the wine of desire but simultaneously stung by the scorpion of jealousy and overtaken by the demon of pride. The restless mind is like a monster that can make life a nightmare. But that same mind, when subdued and controlled, becomes a most trusted friend and helper, guaranteeing peace and happiness. Now we need to understand the psychology of meditation is to cultivate a single thought. A restless mind is like a lake constantly agitated by the winds of desire, creating thought waves of diverse nature. Meditation is a natural necessity for the soul. See, when you uh, eat food that is for the body, in the same way, there is a food for the soul, and that is we call meditation. Like you see, nature compels us to fall asleep every day so that our bodies will get rest and become rejuvenated. But often, though the body gets its rest and sleep, the mind does not. It continues to remain active even in the dream state. Now, what is meditation? Meditation here it is like meditation is a technique of withdrawing the mind so that it will receive rest and rejuvenation, and such withdrawal may be called self detachment. Believe me or not, meditation overcomes the fear of death, which lies at the root of all fears. The diverse manifestations of this primal fear are anxiety, despair, depression, possessiveness, attachments, and aversions. Philosophy of meditation teaches that creative living is never possible unless we accept the inevitability of our physical death and keep ourselves ready for it. Meditation teaches a deepening of self awareness so that we realize I am not the body, which belongs to the order of the organic world and is subject to its mechanical law. Feelings and emotions are psychological. Meditation liberates us from the bondage of mind and body and lifts us up into the vast expanse of the infinite self. Try to understand one thing. Why do we suffer? Some attribute suffering to luck, some to the stars, some to the redistribution, some to the retribution of God, and some to external circumstances. If you go to the seers, or if you read yoga, or if you go to the according to seers of yoga and Vedanta, suffering is self-created and the causes are five. Number one, loss of contact with the real. Number one, loss of contact with the real. Number two, ego and egotism. Number three, attachment. Number four, aversion. Number five, clinging to life. Loss of contact with the true self gives rise to ego, the false, limited, finite self. Now, when you practice, the practice of meditation brings us in contact with the true self, endows us with realistic cosmic vision where everything falls in its right place, and frees us from the cramped life of endless craving and clinging. Meditation awakens the dormant power of the mind. Just a vast amount of energy is hidden in an atom. The sacred text of Yoga and Vedanta again says, the sleeping power of the mind, that is Kundalini. Life becomes blessed when Kundalini is awakened. The quest for our spiritual self is the primary urge of life. That should be the primary urge of life. Three basic desires motivate all living beings: the desire for immortality, the desire for unlimited awareness, and the desire for unbounded joy. Only the knowledge of our true self can accomplish this goal. Some people argue that spiritual quest is escapism and that self knowledge, communion with the divine, ecstasy, and beatific vision are merely the result of suppression and sublimation of the libido. A knower of self becomes a saint and true humanitarian. The gift of sainthood makes it possible for him to really love others through the realization that he is one of them and one with them. The basis of this love is not self love, but love for the self in all. Let us approach this inner shrine and become knower of self. This is how, like, we describe meditation, or the meditation is being described in Yoga or Vedanta.